You're gonna get cinnamon. At the back of your palate, the apple kicks in.
Allow the egg yolk to break in your mouth. See how it makes you feel?
Modernist maestro Wiley Dufresne is one of the most awarded chefs in the world, and newfangled pub Alder is his latest creation. If anyone in New York can help the guys take this Big Apple beer to the next level, it's him.
We'd love your help in figuring out how to take some inspiration from the type of cuisine that you do to infuse something new or different to this beer.
Okay, well, cooked apples, I think maybe cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, something like that.
Yeah.
What about some smoky notes?
I think that'll work well because we'll get to brulee some of the apples. At the same time, the Belgian yeast strains are quite famous for giving a slight smoky character.
All right. What about a little bit of egg yolk?
So you're saying an egg yolk in the beer?
Yeah.
No. Why would you put egg in a beer?
All right, gents, you want to just put that stuff right there?
Sure.
We'll load up the smoker. We got some ice here. We're gonna try to really drop the temperature on the smoke so that the eggs don't get too hot. We want to keep them raw. The smoke will pass through the 2 layers of ice.
And I guess alder and cherry, they're not too intense in flavor, so it should be a nice, mellow smoke.
Yeah, it's not like a mesquite that can be aggressive.
Well, what I've done, I've taken this Duvel, which is a strong Belgian golden ale, and this really nice cider, and I'm going to make a little blend so we can actually taste the egg yolks in something that's going to be quite close to the final beer.
Okay. Get a nice sense of the smoke in there.
The good thing is, if this works and people like it, myself and Martin can say it was completely our idea. If people don't like the egg, we can just blame it on Chef Wiley.
Yeah, blame it on me. I'm used to that. You gotta line up to blame me. So we're gonna put some sugar on these guys.
So you're now going to brulee the sugar into the top of the egg.
Yeah, because caramelized sugar and cinnamon has a real nice flavor profile.
So we'll get the smoke from the wood, and then we'll get the burnt sugar from the brulee.
Yeah, I think the apples are gonna really be complemented by that. There you go. And I'll take that one. All right, gents. Bottoms up.
Instantly, in that one mouthful, you have gone from being a complete madman to an utter genius. It is phenomenal.
The guys head off to the Hudson Valley to get apples for their Big Apple beer at Fishkill Farms, where third-generation family farmer Josh Morgenthau is helping the guys select the perfect varieties for their brew, starting with Golden Delicious.
So Josh, if we're surrounded by the Golden Delicious, do we get the ones in the trees? Do we pick the ones off the floor?
Yeah, no, I think the trees will definitely be a better bet. We can walk down here and get some from this first tree.
And have you got to go all the way to the top to get the good ones?
I wouldn't recommend climbing. We can get most of them, within reach.
What's a key to farming a good apple?
What we do here, and the reason our apples are so tasty, is, we're not using herbicides, we're using natural growing methods, and that, I think, makes the apples taste better.
And what flavors should we look to pick up from these Golden Delicious?
I think the ones you get in the supermarket, they don't hold a candle to what we grow here because they pick them way too early and they're not really ripe.
Yeah, they're so juicy. The flesh is a little bit softer than a kind of standard supermarket apple, and they're just an explosion of flavor.
Josh, this is one of the sweetest apples I've ever tasted. So maybe if we could find another variety that's a bit sharper, then we could kind of get some balance in there between the sweetness and the sharpness.
That sounds great.
Their first variety in hand, the guys head inside to the cold room to choose from the many more types Josh has in storage.
So what do we have here?
We have the Roxbury Russet, which is the oldest American variety. It was developed in the 1600s.
I think these were maybe picked in the 1600s.
They're pretty ugly.
Really good.
Very different to the Golden Delicious one, not nearly as juicy. Still got a bit of sweetness in there.
Do you have anything that's maybe a little bit more tart?
Crispin is one of our tartar apples, and it's very juicy.
These are huge.
Yeah.
It actually has a little spicy character at the back.
Much more tart. Could definitely help us balance out the sweetness that we're going to get from the Golden Delicious.
So what is Applejack?
So Applejack is a really great apple brandy. It's actually the oldest family-operated distillery in the country.
It's amazing. It's got that fresh skin of the apple taste, so it's hugely alcoholic, then it's just got that freshness about it as well.
And it's really smooth, because normally I could not do that.
Next, the cinnamon sticks and cloves go in the boil, followed by the secret ingredient.
New York's finest crack cocaine.
And that I will eat, because it's not actually crack cocaine.
What is it?
Candy sugar.
It really raises the alcohol of your beer.
And it's a common misconception if you're adding sugar to a beer, it's going to make it sweeter, but it actually does the opposite because the sugar is completely fermentable.
Yeah, it's crack for yeast.
It's crack for a Scottish person.
Last, it's time to add the charred oak chips and freshly flamed Fishkill Farms apples.
This is the signature ingredient in our ultimate Big Apple beer. You're going to get cinnamon. At the back of your palate, the apple kicks in.
Allow the egg yolk to break in your mouth. See how it makes you feel?
So you guys have just tasted our ultimate Big Apple beer. What did you think?
It's delicious. I love it. The egg is really, really cool.
And do you think hipsters would like this beer?
No one's heard about it. It's new. It's not mainstream yet. Hipsters will be all over it.